Newcastle team had romped into Europe. Now, through his inspirational guidance, they had real hopes of a first trophy since his triumphant return to St James's Park.
I'm honestly expecting us to win something. I mean, we've got 4 chances, one of which is the league. And obviously, I mean, I think Alex Ferguson's been saying, you know, we're one of the teams he's looking at and thinking, oh, you know, they're going to challenge us. Now, I hope we don't disappoint him.
Newcastle were off to a flying start. Victories in their first 4 matches had their ecstatic supporters talking of championships and earned Keegan the season's first Manager of the Month award. It was soon 5 out of 5. Chelsea overwhelmed at St James's. Andy Cole, last season's most prolific scorer in the Premier, continuing in the same vein with a double strike in a 4-2 win. The next hurdle for Newcastle was at Highbury. The evergreen Peter Beardsley had missed earlier matches with a fractured cheekbone, but soon made amends, scoring the opening goal in his team's 3-2 success. His nifty footwork set up the third for Rule Fox. Newcastle, less than 2 months into the season, had a 100% record. Now they were setting a scorching pace for the rest to follow. What were the teams then pursuing them? Liverpool's credentials would be under fierce scrutiny at Old Trafford, and then a week later at Newcastle.
Scales, oh, it's a terrible header. Kanchelskis has scored. Kanchelskis. McClare. Cantona, great play. McClare! A goal of championship class. Fox took that well. Robert Lee is the runner. Sellers in the centre. Lee! Oh! A quite glorious goal from Robert Lee. Barnes. Liverpool still very much in the hunt. Oh, Rush! And their luck has changed with a vengeance.
The points dropped by Newcastle were their first of the season. But there was consoling, if surprising, news for them from Portman Road. Manchester United beaten by an Ipswich team, already struggling at the other end of the table. For Ipswich, victors by 3-2, this was to be a rare highlight in an otherwise disastrous season. Tottenham's early promise, meantime, was fading. A porous defence exposed them again as Forest left them gasping at White Hart Lane. A 4-1 home defeat, 2 goals for Brian Roy. The alarm bells were sounding for a by now beleaguered Spurs manager Ossie Ardiles. Forest's encouraging start was reflected in the league table. Only Newcastle had a better return from the first 7 outings. Great interest then in the 9th of October showdown at St James's Park. The top 2 in conflict, with the outcome an absorbing contest.
Danger, Wilcox. Oh, penalty, must be a penalty. Out of nothing. Blackburn Rovers have a penalty. 58 minutes gone. Shearer for Blackburn for 1-0. As cool as you like. Now, it must go in, and it has. At last, a breakthrough.
No respite for Blackburn, but their title challenge was clearly beginning to gather momentum as Liverpool experienced at Ewood Park. Another thrilling match finally swung Blackburn's way. Chris Sutton, the 2-goal hero in Rovers' 3-2 win, bringing his tally to 12 goals, more even at that stage than Alan Shearer. Next up, Manchester United.
Lasso. Schmeichel came an awfully long way. His punch wasn't the very best. More danger! Borhurst! That you call a gift. Will it come? Yes, it will for Lee Sharp. Berg down. Is it? It looks like it's a penalty. And a red card for heading Berg. It's Cantona against Tim Flowers. I don't think you can do it any cooler than that. Well, so swings it in. It's a good one. It's a goal! It's Big Hendry. Kanchelskis. Hendry got his foot in. Oh! So, trouble. Big trouble. Very big trouble. That's a gift for Mark Hughes. Now, it's Kanchelskis. This could settle it. It's 1 against 1. It's a simple, straightforward shootout. Kanchelskis. Brilliant!
United's 4-2 win had stemmed momentarily Blackburn's title drive. Now they were hoping to make a similar dent in Newcastle's championship ambitions. Keegan's team arrived at Old Trafford defending the Premier League's last unbeaten record. Interest was no less intense back at St James's for those who couldn't get a ticket.
It is Giggs. And it's glanced in. Gary Pallister was spotted. Gillespie has carved away through. A great goal.
On the same day, the division's other leading frontrunners were also meeting. Blackburn's aspirations revived by success over Forest at the City Ground.
Wilcox. Now here's Sutton. Never frightened to try his luck, and it's paid off for him. Ripley to take it. Here's Shearer. Oh, Sutton in space. Too much space.
A significant day in the title chase ended with Newcastle and Forest still leading the way, but with their two high-profile rivals closing the gap. Liverpool and Leeds were hovering behind the top four. These 6 clubs were to maintain their challenge for the rest of the season.
Good as gold around the world.
Introducing one of the finest collections of classical music ever assembled on compact disc, the remarkable Composer Series. Over 100 of the very best classical works from history's finest composers.
You realise that the dismissal of Ozzy Ardiles in early November would be the first of so many managerial changes in the Premier League. Ardiles held his job for just 16 months, presiding over an unstable period at Spurs, and the writing was on the wall as defensive deficiencies and the weight of a 6-point penalty tested the patience of Spurs chairman Alan Sugar. The outcome seemed inevitable, but Ardiles was saddened by his departure.
Well, obviously very sad right now. Maybe better what I was say this morning after I talked to the player. Was a little bit emotional. I'm a bit better right now. Obviously, yes, I'm very sad. Spurs was my dream, and I'm very disappointed that at the end of the day I wasn't successful. And probably I will probably be even more sad in the days to come. Really, when it really hits me when I wake up in the morning and I don't go for training, or I don't do anything really. You cannot live your life playing golf all the time. So this is when probably will hit me more. But yes, of course, it's a very sad day for me.
Another eventful chapter in Ozzy Ardiles' career had come to an end, but Spurs would not be managerless for very long. Across London, Queen's Park Rangers boss Jerry Francis handed in his resignation after 3 years' service at Loftus Road. Initially, it was not accepted by the board. This came after a reported offer to the former Rangers favourite Rodney Marsh of a job as the club's chief executive, his responsibilities to include all team matters outside of team selection. The board withdrew the offer after the reaction from Jerry Francis.
QPR is my club. I played here in the 60s and the 70s, and I thought it was a dream, ticket, if you will. But obviously, Jerry didn't see it that way, and that's his prerogative. That's fine by me.
But the affair left a sour taste for Francis. With regret, he moved on, and days later he was confirmed as new manager of Tottenham Hotspur. As he greeted the fans in his first home match, he was hailed a new saviour at White Hart Lane. Back at Loftus Road, an old favourite returned. Ray Wilkins had joined Crystal Palace at the start of the season, but an injury on the opening day meant he played just one game, and the attraction of QPR and a first opportunity in